What's going on, guys? John Elder here from codemy.com, and in this video I want to show you how to clear labels with the grid system using Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said in the last video, I showed you how to clear labels using pack. In this video we want to look at clearing labels using grid, and also I want to show you how to do it without using that delete button, which is kind of pesky. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. All right, so like I said in the last video, we created this little app. We can type some stuff, click the button, it says hello, we can delete it, we can type something else, and it says something, hello Bob. On top of that, the old one gets deleted and it's not all jumbled together like we've seen in other videos. So in this video, we want to do the same thing with .grid. Now we use .pack for this, and as you probably know, .pack's not particularly great for creating apps because you don't have a whole lot of control. With grid, you can move things around and position them exactly. So, you know, you're often going to use .grid, and so it's a little bit different, but not really. But we'll look at that. And I also, like I said, want to show you how to do it without using this delete button, because that's kind of a hassle too. We should just be able to click this button and it should delete it all automatically for us. So I'll show you how to do that. It's a little tricky. So I've got the same code from the last video. If you didn't watch that video, check the playlist. There's a link below. And we can just come through here, and I'm just going to come down here and Control F and then search for .pack and find all the instances of pack. And I'm just going to change them to grid. And we want this to be row equals, I think, 3, column equals 0. And I'm just going to copy this. So this is the label that gets output. And then this is the entry box itself. So let's change this to grid. And then we want this to be row 0, the very first thing. And we want this button to be grid. And that will be row 1. And then the delete button, that should be grid. And that should be row 2. So row 0, 1, 2, and then the outputted label is on row 3. Okay, so then this entry box, let's change this. We got to change this, make it a little smaller. Okay, so let's save this and run it just to make sure everything looks okay. And I named this forget_grid if you're following along. So, okay, it looks good. And right off the bat, we can try this and it works, right? So almost using the same exact code from last time, it works. And that's because when we click delete, we're using this destroy function. And destroy destroys packed things. It also destroys gridded things. And so that works just fine. Now, we learned in the last video that destroy kills a thing forever, but not really, because we can just recreate it every time we click this button right here, right? So it does delete it, but we can always bring it back. The difference between that and pack forget is pack forget doesn't delete it at all, it just hides it, and then you can bring it back later. Well, like I said in the last video, we did pack forget. We can also use grid forget. So let's uncomment that and comment this. So now, again, this is just supposed to hide it, but for all intents and purposes, it deletes it. And so let's bring this over, give it a try. John, can't even spell my own name. Hello, John, delete. And that seems to work just fine. So we're also getting this 1 here because, let's see, we did this print thing. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so just that easy to delete things using grid forget and .destroy. Almost exactly the same as .pack, right? Well, okay, not that exciting, but I figured I should talk about it. Now, the more fun thing that we're going to talk about is getting rid of this delete button. So let's come over here and let's see. When we click the My Click button, we're disabling it. We're graying it out. So let's get rid of that. And let's just see what we got. Let's run this. So this still works. But now, when we click this button doesn't gray out. So we can type something else. And it still kind of works, right? But here, if the thing we type out, so if we type out John Elder, very long, right? We say, hello, John Elder. If now we type FF or something smaller and click this, it just sort of overwrites it. You've probably seen this before if you tried to do this on your own. So how do we change that? How do we get that from stop doing that? If we do this, it's deleting the last thing, but not all the things. So that's a hassle too. So what do we got here? Well, first of all, when we click this my click button, we want the delete stuff, this stuff, to work. So instead of having this my delete function, why don't we just come down here inside of here and put the grid forget thing right there, or even destroy if we wanted to, whatever we want, right? So if we save this and run it, we're gonna get some errors, I believe. So let's come back here, pull this up. Hello, John Elder, enter your name. Nothing happened. If we click close, we get this my label is not defined. And that's because if we look through here, in fact, we don't really need this anymore at all. Let me just comment this out so it's not confusing. Same thing here. We don't need the delete button at all. So we're calling the my click button and it's saying right away, destroy my label, but my label hasn't been defined yet, right? And that's because my label gets defined down here. So if we put this here, below here, now it's defined, but it would immediately get destroyed, which is not what we want. We want it to be destroyed before it gets written to, if it's already been written to before, right? So if I've already put a name in there, I want the old one to be deleted and then the new one to be put up, right? So this has to go first. But if we put this first, this yet hasn't been defined. So we can do this a couple of different ways. I'm just going to come up here to the top outside of all of our functions, and I'm just going to go my underscore label equals a label, and it's in root, and that's it. I'm just going to define it just right there. All right, so if we save this, now it's been defined right when the program starts. We haven't assigned anything to it. We haven't put any text in it yet, but it's been created. So now when this function gets called and we say destroy it, it's going to destroy this thing that's already been created, I hope. Let's run this and see. So enter your name, John, boom, it gets deleted. Now if we type in FF, because it's smaller, boom, that gets overwritten. There's nothing behind it, sort of still being weird looking. We do something on top, that gets deleted, and it's all good. And that works. So that's all we have to do. And so this is a scope issue, right? If you're doing regular programming, the scope of your variables, this is now a global variable, essentially. If we did that inside of here, it would just, we could, I suppose, but it would just be a global, or it would just be a local variable. So let's see what happens when we do that. So if we save this and run this guy again, now if we type in John, boom, something else, it still does that weird thing. Why? Well, because it's a local variable. So every time this function gets called, this will be created, but it won't remember the old one, because once this function gets finished running, everything in it loses memory, so to speak, right? We forget it. Right? So then when we run this function again, it forgets that we've created this earlier. So what we have to do is make it a global variable by putting it outside of this function and having it being called first. So then our program will remember it every time this function gets called. And that's a pretty simple way to do that. So just a matter of scope, always sort of keep that in mind. And that's cool. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. Site page is $49 to access all my courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDF versions of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 85,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and we'll see you in the next video.